charge of London's European Institute. Thanks for talking to us on Euronews now. Where do we go from here? What's the timetable, do you think?
So if it depends whether the government can stay in power or not. If there are a few more resignations, if the government collapses, then it's anyone's guess what happens next. If Theresa May somehow manages to cling on to power, then the timetable is that there'll be an extraordinary summit of the European Council on the 25th of November to sign off the deal, and then it would go to the UK Parliament in early December to vote on it, and then it would go to the European Parliament to vote on it if the UK Parliament approved it. Obviously, this timeline, which is what the EU and the UK thought was going to happen this morning, has now been thrown totally up in the air by these resignations. And I guess now we have to wait and see, will there be a few more resignations? Will there be a vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister from her own party? If these things happen, then it's impossible to predict what happens next with regards to the timeline. And it's totally up in the air what happens time-wise.
So where does that leave the European Union? What could its positions be? Sure, there's a lot of uncertainty and doubt, but what could be their next manoeuvre?
I think the European Union are very much in a sort of wait-and-see mode right now. They have tried to make sure that this hasn't happened, so they've been very careful to use promising language and be very respectful and towards May, especially in the last couple of days, and they're really kind of not getting involved for now. So they're going to wait and see what happens in London. They're going to wait for it to play out. If May does fall, and there is either a Tory leadership contest or even a general election, and if that happens, then there would need to be an extension of Article 50, because any of these outcomes would just take such a long time to sort out. So if it's an election or even if it's a referendum, all of these things take a few months to sort out. So if the May government does fall, it will take a long time to sort out getting a new leader and then potentially a new government in place. So the EU is going to just have to wait and see for now. And if there is a governmental collapse, the EU might need to contend with the possibility that a future UK government will want to extend Article 50. And I do think, despite the practical issues with that, I think the EU would say yes in the end. But I guess if the government does collapse, it becomes a real possibility that becomes is on the cards.
Oliver Patel from the UCL's European Institute, thanks for talking to us on Euronews Now.
Thank you.